Hello and welcome. Now we are going to study the first chapter of civics, that is Indian Constitution. So Constitution is the very word which is creating an exhilaration in everybody's mind. So Constitution is the basic laws of the land, and the word Constitution comes whenever we are going through the concepts of democracy, statecraft, parliamentary form of government, secularism, sovereignty. These type of words are just the key words mentioned in the Constitution. Every year on 26th January, we are celebrating Republic Day. It is the day on which the Constitution of India came into being. The Constitution was implemented from 26th January 1950. From 1950 to 26th January, India became a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. So, the Constitution, in a layman's view, is a legal document which is containing the supreme laws of the land. As students, you already know that laws are there in different fields. For your school, there are laws. For the trade and commerce, there are laws. And for landed properties, there are laws. For criminal activities, there are laws. Indian Penal Code, Indian Evidence Act, and Criminal Procedure Code. So, in every sphere, there are laws. But for India, which is a vast expansion of a country and has been called as a subcontinent, to administer a country, a vast country like India, some basic rules and regulations are necessary. So, since the British period, the constitution demand was felt, and that constitutional demand was realized in the formation of a Constituent Assembly on 9th December 1946, from which it started working, and it took 2 years, 11 months and 18 days to make the constitution a reality for India. Now, India has been called as the largest democracy of the world. So, let us explore Indian Constitution topic. Before delving into the topic, before discussing about Indian Constitution, let us have a look towards our neighbor, immediate neighbor, that is Nepal. Nepal is a hilly country situated in the northern side of India, where monarchy was the order of the day for a longer period of time. In 1990, King Birendra of Nepal, he introduced democracy, that was a constitutional monarchy in which democracy was continuing, as well as a limited monarchy was there. King Birendra died during 2001 and 2 when he was shot by his son Dipendra. Then his younger brother Gyanendra took the power scepter, he became the king, and he was not a democrat like Birendra, rather he was an autocrat. Citing some flimsy ground of Maoist uprising, in October 2002, King Gyanendra took over all the powers and he dissolved the Rashtriya Panchayat, the national parliament of Nepal. He became the head of the state. In November 2005, the Maoists joined other political parties and they had a 12-point agreement. In that agreement, they made it clear that they wanted a democracy by all the means. They blockaded the road. They made a dharana in Kathmandu, the capital city, and ultimately King Gyanendra had to pave the way, and in 2007 Nepal adopted an interim constitution. So again democracy, which became siupai, which became inept for a shorter period of time, now again revamped and again restored in Nepal. So it is the people. The people are the sole players in a democracy. So wherever there is a rule of people, that is called as democracy. As you have already known that a democracy, the famous definition given by Abraham Lincoln, democracy is such a form of government which is of the people, by the people and for the people. In that context, it is clear that in a democratic setup, a constitution is highly necessary. So, let us explore the topic. Before just discussing about Indian constitution, some of the key contents are put into importance. They are, what is a constitution anyway? What is a constitution for a layman's view or for an expert? Why do we need a constitution? The history of a constitution of India, the framing of the constitution of India, the preamble of the constitution of India, what is the constitution of India and its basic features and characteristics, and in the end conclusion and some keywords. So now come to what is a constitution. You see, everywhere rules are there. In your home, some of the rules which are not written, non-written rules are there. For the game football, rules are there. Suppose while playing football, if you strike the ball with your hand, then that would be foul play. So, some of the do's and do nots are there in every game. Rules are there. In your home, the rules are that your father, who is the eldest of all, if he is the eldest of all, he must be respected. And it is his primary duty, it is his sole duty to earn the livelihood for himself as well as of his family. Likely, as the younger ones, you, the offsprings of your parents, you should obey the rules and regulations as dictated by your parents, and likely you should take care of your siblings, your brothers and sisters, and you should live happily in your home. If any of you violate the rule, then the home would not be administered well. So, wherever rules are needed or necessitated for the home, how rules could be violated or rules could not be necessitated in administering a country? Likely, rules are highly necessary. For your school, rules are necessary. For the road, rules are necessary. For the trade, rules are necessary. For every activity you see, rules are highly necessary. You see, while foul playing, a player is shown red card by the referee, the umpire. So, if the player does not observe the rule, then he would be punished by being ousted from the game. So next question comes into our mind that if rules are necessary and laws are necessary, then who will make the law? Everywhere the legislature makes the law. We need law in the society, and by law society could be regulated properly, society could be effectuated properly, and laws are the protection. So a question comes into your mind, what is the law? Law is nothing but the common sense. Law is the codification of some principles which must be observed, and there is a price for observance or conformity, and there is a punishment for deviation. How I could explain you that what is conformity and what is deviation? Suppose you are walking on the road. As per the laws or rules of the road, you have to stick to the left. If you do not stick to the left, then you would be fined, you would be punished, you may be taken to the police station by the traffic police. Another effect may come that you may die out of accident. But if you observe the rules of the road, then you may keep your body safe, as well as you may not be punished by the traffic police or laws of the road or rules of the road. So, laws or rules are very much necessary. So, if you do not observe the rule, you have to face the music, face the consequences. Now, you see, it is the symbol of justice. Whoever breaks the law would be punished by the police. It is a cartoon. Now proceed to the next slide. Whatever we could understand that what is a constitution? The constitution is the supreme law of the land. Means there are many laws in a land, but the constitution is the supreme laws of the land. All other laws have to conform to the constitution. The constitution contains laws concerning the government and its relations with the people. There may be laws, or there might be laws. There must be laws, as you know, many laws are there in a country. But one thing is certain, that the constitutional laws are the highest laws. All other laws should conform, should go in consonance with the constitution. No other law should violate the principles of the constitution. If any law which could violate the laws of the constitution, then that law could be declared as illegal or ultra virus. So a constitution contains three main aspects. Remember these three main aspects. What are they? The nature of the state, the relationship between the different levels of government, and between the government and the citizen. So let me explain you in Odia. Nature of the state, Rashtrara Swarupa. Relation between different levels of government, Sarkar Bibhinna Starare Samparka, and between the government and the citizen, Sarkar ebong Nagarika Madhyane Samparka. Now the constitution is showing how it is keeping relationship with the government. Point number 2. And how it is keeping relationship with the people. Point number 3. And the nature of the state, how the state is. How is India explained in the constitution? A sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Sovereign, Sarvabhauma, socialist, Samajvadi, secular, Dharmanirapaksha, democratic, Ganatantrika, republic, Ganarajya. Sarvabhauma, Sadharanatantra, Dharmanirapaksha, এবং গণতান্ত্রিক গণরাজ্য ভারত অটে. This is the nature of the state. That means democratic republic, sovereign, socialist, secular republic is the main characteristic of India. So then we shall proceed to the next slide.